radio for her. Rita, bless her, was still monitoring. "We've got an intruder in the construction yard," Anna said clearly. "Get me some backup." The radio call stirred the stocking feet. Distinct rustling from a riveted Anna's attention on a ditcher parked one space from the gate. Staying well back in the shadows, she waited. Silence grated on her nerves, and she listened as much for the approach of boat as she did for the movements of the person she dragged. Scuffling. The tiny sound made her flinch, as if a cannon had gone off near her ear. Anna scrambled into the elk. Damage had been done. Soon she was let out of her pen. She had the cold relief. The contractor would not complete. Monkey sabotage was an ancient form of combat. Anna respected it in its purest form. Dated environmentalists against the life. Whether or not this was the case with the waterline, she'd not. Rogelio, her lover in Texas, had thrived on such night action. She'd met many of the ecotage experts he ran with. They didn't tend to violent persons. No swinging of chains, crushing of skulls. Had a good deal to see, or a good deal to gain. Alf enough to throw a red works, a sabot in the machine, but it seemed absurd to risk a 20-year career when she had legal avenues. Jamie, maybe? She had material and might still be naive enough to believe she wouldn't be thrown in jail if she were caught. Somehow, Anna couldn't see either Al or swinging the tow chain. But then, she'd been wrong about people before. Defensive gear and flat hat. Ran across the maintenance yard, followed him of a flashlight. "Got the key?" she called. "Got it." You went off shift? Honestly, can't remember. Stacy was sullen. It was unlike it. The honestly bothered Anna. The lock came open, and he wasn't too happy when my boys left the gate unlocked. And I'm none too happy one of your boys didn't catch it. I hate to think all my time paying for cute you, pretty little ranger. He winked, spitting his open eye. Silver got out of the truck. He had his shirt on this time, a western cut with pearl snaps. But the tails were out, not snapped. He looked just tumbled. Hair fell forward over her face, and thick, thin arms and legs poked out from the child propped in a sitting position. What have you got?" Breathing, but way too slow. Anna heard him mutter. With a neck so long and skinny, his flat-brimmed hat took on the aspect of a plate, balanced on a broom handle, was waving his arms like an officious dancer. "Go!" With Anna as best they could, they carried the Stokes up the metal stairs. Drew had taken the foot and used his height to keep the litter level. In and out and in and out and... Anna chanted under her breath, keeping time as she forced oxygen into the failing lungs. Behind her she could feel the gentle battering of camera cases and bags as she pushed past the line of people along the stair rail. Occasionally she felt something softer than steel mesh beneath her boots and heard a squawk of pain. But she was only dimly aware of these things. Her eyes and mind were fixed on the now deep and regular rise of the little girl's chest. "Looking good," Drew was saying. "She's pinking up." Anna glanced at Stephanie's face. The death-like pallor had abated somewhat. "Paul," she said quietly. "Radio for a patrol car escort. We'll be running hot." But it didn't look as if he was writing them. She called them out. He'd not said a word since he'd completed his radio requests half an hour before. Anna patted the little girl's arm. "You're doing enough. Hang in there." The child hadn't regained, but Anna had no way of knowing if she heard. To Stacy she said, "Are you okay?" Stacy just shook his head.
Oh, there's split. Hair showing She's doing maneuvers here. They're training. They kind of look like. It'd probably be for bigger vehicles.
Well, these are completely empty. They are like really empty. The wildlife cruise, recall that? Of course. What if they get any moose?
Probably infrequently. I'm sure the moose don't come near town as much.
Clad in striped men's plate with an unlit cigarette. She held it up at Anna's hand, trying to decide whether or not to share, and took her morning drugs out onto the rear deck. No, it's first. Right, solstice. It's just Monday night, while she was taking her evening walk, Al Stinson said she saw Stacy locking the Cedar Tree Tower ruin gate. After that, Stacy had been neither seen nor spoken to anyone. At least, not anyone willing to come forward. On arriving back in the park, Mrs. Myers found the bed made free of dishes. As her husband was a man of tidy domestic habits, she couldn't say if this indicated whether or not he'd slept at home. Wednesday, Anna saw Bella on her bike riding back from maintenance. 9:30 a.m. Anna guessed she'd been escorting Drew to work after his training. Pulling the car to the side of the narrow, Anna called the girl's name. For a moment, the green eyes looked at her without recognition. When a spark did dawn, it was feverish, and suddenly gone, as if very little held the child's interest anymore. Bella rode up to the Ford, and Anna from behind the wheel, as if it had been written in felt marker across the unlined glass. No, said Captain. We haven't found Stacy yet. Bella didn't change expression, but it was as if her soft cheeks froze. Anna ached to see so adult a reaction on a 6-year-old's overlook on the Ruins Road loop with binoculars pressed to her eyes. Jennifer Short, back to the canyon, stood at her elbow. It's not like if those trails you keep looking at haven't been looked at before, Jennifer was saying. She leaned against the chest-high cyclone. The mission was garbled, and the patrol car, Anna fiddled with the radio's volume, as Frida said, "Unit calling 700, you are broken." Scratches and crackles came over the air. Head toward Cliff Tower. Incident? 100 passed evenly. I found Stacy Myers. Of a man always laughed that way. That gives me the heebie-jeebies. Dutton shuddered. Also large and individual, the gesture seemed out of place. Kind of like a Jim Jones wannabe? I guess. Hills had turned attention back to the Kiva and its contents. His East heritage showed briefly. Everybody that died on me was fresh. Did CPR all the way to the hospital and let him die for sure there. What the hell do we do now? Anna didn't know. Many times in her career there'd been bodies to deal with. The crime scenes had been staged to be moved. Secure the scene, collect evidence, make play in the form of corpses. His plodding methodicalness took a definite turn toward the anal retentive. Pictures were taken and retaken from every scene. When off out of woodwork saying, he explained, so by God, we're going to do it. Measurements were taken. Anna patrolled the traditionally uneventful 4.5 miles from Far to Pot Point, the highest place at 8,571 feet. The twisting mesa cut through the flanks of mountain places, Bravo Cut and Delta Cut. Rocks falling from the unstable hillsides littered the roadway and were a constant headache. After rains, the numerous and sizable enough to present a hazard to motorists, Delta Cut presented a slash frighten someone? To stop the search before too many noses were poked into too many places? Beneath, as Anna scribbled, "Where else should we have looked?" And rose with an arrow drawn back up to life insurance. She'd run out of stones. A stretch of road.
That's just construction.
Oil or something.
Pew. Pew.
I'm fascinated about how they do it.
Pew.
Love you.
He'll win.
Love
Except
you.
for
Love you too.
A gun under his breath. The patrol car crawled up the long slope out of the Atlanta. Anna unfettered her mind and let it wander over the now green ski slopes and escalators and the fresh new-leaf poplar trees skirting cornflower bloom. The phrase flickered through her mind, though she'd never seen it all. That's no fun, Frederick said kindly. He twisted around in his seat till the shoulder strap pushed his collar up under his right ear, and his bony knees pointed in Anna's direction. Tell me gossip, innuendo, lies, supposition, weird hassle when they're all fresh and weak. Hills Duckman was waiting for them. In the past, Anna had often found rangers loath to turn an investigation over to an outside agency. Some hated surrendering the power. Others suffered a natural discomfort at letting anyone not a member of the family fall through the judgment. Lord knew what they might choose to hear. Dutton was the exception. He couldn't wait to dump this one in somebody else's life. Statements, paperwork, the photographs, and the autopsy, unopened and dated 2 days previously, Anna noted, had been stuffed into a manila or whatever while you're here. My very own ranger, Stanton quoted, seeing Anna walk backward to the photograph. Just what I always wanted. Well, next to a pony. Anna grumbled because it was expected of her, but she was pleased with the assignment. Parking tickets and medical evacuations had begun to pall, replaced by an undoubtedly unhealthy obsession with Stacey Myers, living and now dead. She took Stanton, the envelope still clamped under his arm, to Cliff Fountain and played tour guide as she led him down the steep path into the alcove where the village was built. Get moving, she said, glancing at her watch as it timed. The winners are... His voice trailed off as he looked over the 3 single-spaced typed pages. Read the small type, all but sitting in his lap.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not exactly, but
Swan Lake and Simpson's Peak. He felt sprinkles. Is that beavers or is that just cut trees? I think they're just cut trees.
they look cut. I don't know why somebody would deliberately cut them though.
That's a really steep path.
Which ones?
The raspberry bushes, they're not all ripe yet. They're still not ripened yet.
you ever actually go see the falls, Tiff?
No, I believe you said they weren't very good.
Oh, you were sleeping. Alright.
Starts to rain.
They have gas stations. That's why I hate these things.
We can go inside and pay. I don't know.
Got the wheel. Alright, let's go. It's a colorful mountain. Colorful mountain. It's a change of colors or what?
Smaller shrubs are turning yellow. Alright, drive, Mark.
Creatures. Ducks or geese? Geese.
continent shaft wasn't just halfway around the world, it was the surface. I couldn't guess whether she was strong enough to get through this. I said,
Yes, it'd be a waste of them.
Mark!
I guess this is the road. Is it?
Doesn't look like a road. It's like an RV park. Is this the way we're supposed to go? Where are you going?
This is the road.
What road?
The road, Glacier Highway.
Great. There's an RV park coming up. Oh man. What's that drive? This 100 kilometers. Gotta find an RV park there, okay?
Alright.
I think the dog must be hurting it. See, he's got the collar and everything. He must be. Remember the dog we saw with the sheep at one time?
He's hurting both a goat and a horse.
Yeah, I can think of.
Is that it?
Enough gas?
Good Hope Lake, it was called.